Hi guys, as the title would indicate, we are going through highlighters today and decluttering. This is a tough one for me because I have yet to get over my massive love affair with highlighters. I just feel like it's one of those products that completely transforms my look. The minute I put it on my skin, I just feel like I've gone from a pretty makeup look to something absolutely gorgeous. I love them. I have chosen to break this into kind of two sections. Today we're going to be tackling what I would consider to be more natural highlights. Now, some of these are more intense than others, but I definitely feel like as I look at my highlighter collection, I've got ones that are incredibly intense and very wet or metallic looking, and then I've got some that are a little softer and a little more natural that can be definitely built up. So there's some ones in here that are very subtle and some that I think are maybe more average as far as intensity. That's kind of what's in here, and then we'll tackle our metallic and then also our colorful highlighters in the next declutter video. I think what I want to do for these is also sort of look from an undertone perspective. So I think what I'm going to do is try and sort these out by undertone. So let's put all the pinky toned ones or all the champagne toned ones together so that I can really decide what is similar, what is going to be duplicative in my collection, and maybe hopefully make a dent in this. I don't know guys, there's a lot of highlighters in here that I really love. So if I don't get to my 40-50% like I have been in some of my other declutters, don't be too mad at me. Okay, let's get into this. So these are ones that I would consider to be very light, almost white highlighters on my skin. Some might be a little more neutral, a little more gold, but they're very light. So obviously my lightest one here is from Ulta Beauty. This is their Illuminator in Brilliant Diamond. It is pure white. I picked this up because I just couldn't bring myself to buy a Becca highlighter one day, and this one I wanted to try. It's actually really creamy and really pretty. It's very intensely white. I mean, absolutely stunning highlight there. It is pure white though. I love that. In comparison, this one is very similar undertone to that. This is the JCat Luxe Pro Powder. I just reviewed this on my channel not that long ago. I will link that down below if you want to see how this looks and swatches on my skin. This one has a very similar undertone because it is very white, but I feel like it's a little more natural. So whereas this one is a little bit more intense, this one is even more natural, more finely milled. So I definitely feel like this one is going to give you a sort of that medium intensity, and this one's going to be a very subtle, natural lit from within glow. So I do think I'm going to keep both of these. It's tough here guys because some of these are just ones that I absolutely love and adore. So this is MAC. This is their Mineralize Skinfinish and Lighscapade. It's one they're totally famous for. Although it looks like it might be a colorful highlight, it actually is very fair and very white when you actually get done swatching it all. It might be a little more neutrally than this bright white one here. But that is it down there. It looks beautiful on the cheeks. Very finely milled, very subtle, but beautiful. Like, great for natural makeup days on me. So I'm gonna put Lighscapade back on just for comparison's sake. This is from Too Faced. This is their Love Light Prismatic highlighter in Blinded by the Light. I know a lot of people did not like these highlighters. I actually really did. I've made quite the divot in here. I think they're absolutely beautiful. They are a little bit more subtle on the cheek, but they build up beautifully. They're finely milled. It's that baked gelée texture that I think is just gorgeous. So those do actually look very similar to one another, but I think the MAC Mineralize Skin Finish is just a little less intense than this guy. And then this is from Pixi Aspen Ovard. This is London Lustre. I don't even know if this is out anymore. This is a white that has a little bit more of a yellow undertone to it, but it's still very bright and white. Let me see if I can compare this next to a pure white highlight just so you can see the difference. So there is the pure white highlighter, and then there is London Lustre. You can definitely start to see it's more yellowy undertone when you swatch next to it. It's beautiful though. Like, I really like this as well. I'm gonna set this to the side because it's got that slight yellowy undertone. I wanna see how this compares to some of my other more goldeny highlights here in a minute. So that's a maybe. These four I'm just keeping. Sorry, I like them all. Next up, these are my more pinky toned subtle highlighters. So let's just pop all of these open real fast. All right, so let's start back here with one I know I love. This is from Lorac. This is their Illuminating highlighter in Moonlight. I think these are completely underrated. I love how slim and tiny the packaging is. The lid is super thin, nice magnetic closure. Beautiful subtle shade. It's pink, but it's not like crazy, like blindingly pink. Love this color. I think it's just a beautiful shade. So that is the Light Source one. Once again, some of these swatches don't look that great on my hand, but I feel like you put them on your face and it's a totally different beast. This is from Catrice. This is their highlighting powder in the shade Stardust. I think they have a new imprint on these. I think I saw them and they had a different kind of print on them. This is very subtle, but it is a little bit lighter and brighter. So whereas this one is more neutral on my skin and a little closer to my skin tone, this one's a little bit more lightening and brightening. This is from Makeup Revolution. This is one of their strobe highlighters in Moon Glow Lights. This is so creamy, guys. Like, this just feels beautiful. And this is one that I've almost used as a finishing powder, or I have used as a finishing powder, similar to Mood Lights from Hourglass. Even more subtle than this Lorac one here, but it looks beautiful on your skin. This is from Physicians Formula. This is their Natural Nude one. This one is one where I really am only concentrating my brush down here in this corner. It does give a beautiful effect to the skin, but now that I'm looking at it, it really reminds me a lot of what this Catrice one is doing for my skin. So it's really big and bulky packaging. I'm never using these shades down here in the corner. Like, it's beautiful, but I feel like I've got this exact tone in the Catrice one. So I'm gonna pass this on. And then this is Soap and Glory. This is their Glow All Out. I think they call it, yeah, Luminizing Highlighting Powder. It looks super pink, but it's actually not as strong as you would think looking at it here in the pan. It's definitely more of a peachy pink. It's pretty, but I feel like with these three here, I've really got everything I want from pink subtle highlighters. So I think I can pass this on and not feel all that like upset about it. I don't dislike this, but I feel like if I wanted a subtle highlighter, I would save my money and get the Makeup Revolution one instead of this one. So I was going to give you a recommendation. I think these two are very similar, but I would go with the Makeup Revolution one all day long. So I'm going to get rid of this one and I'm going to keep these three. All right, so these are natural bronzers that I consider to be fairly neutral. So they don't have a pink or a gold undertone, just very neutral, as I have said. Let's open all these up so you can see them. All right, there we go. Let's start with one that I know I love and will never give up, and that's a good starting place. So this is from Laura Mercier. This is her Baked Matte Radiance highlighter in 01. This is very subtle. It is not matte. I don't know where she gets that from. It is baked, but it is stunning. Like, it's absolutely beautiful. I put this on and I just feel like my skin looks glowy without looking like there's powder on it. So I just feel like this gives a very subtle glow to my cheeks that is just, I don't know, it's very natural, but it's definitely there. So I think this is an absolutely stunning highlighter. Gorgeous. Definitely not giving this up. Let's grab another one that I know I love and I'm not getting rid of. This is from Milani. This is one of their Afterglow blushes in the shade 01 Strobelight. This is one of my favorite highlighters ever. It is going to be very similar undertone to the Laura Mercier one, but as you can see, it's definitely a little bit more intense, but it definitely is one that can be sheared out for something more natural, or definitely built up to be, I'd say, a medium intensity highlighter. This is never gonna be the most blinding highlighter of life, but love this undertone. Just think it is a phenomenal formula. This comes in a lot of different colors too, so if this is not a formula, or if this isn't a color rather, that you think will work for you, check them out because they've got a lot of other deeper shades as well. Another one that I know I love, this is from Makeup Revolution. It is completely worn off on the top, but this is one of their baked highlighter powders in Radiant Lights. I've had this for a while now. And I definitely think there is some similarities between this one and the Milani one. Maybe a little less intense, or maybe a little less intense than Milani. So if I was gonna rank these in terms of like shine, I would say Laura Mercier 1, then this baked one from Make Revolution, and then 3 being Milani. So yep, keeping this. Let's swatch one I'm not sure about. So this is from MAC. This is another one of their mineralized ones. This is in Soft and Gentle. This is also a cult classic. I feel like this one is a smidge too dark for me. And I feel like it's got a micro shimmer in it that is, I mean, it's not the worst. I don't know how well the camera is going to pick up on this. But there are definitely some shimmer particles in here that are a little more chunky than I like. I've had this for a while. I bought it because everyone was talking about it for a long time. And I feel like I've just gotten really refined in my highlighters. I feel like there is a base in here that's really pretty, but I feel like I see those shimmer particles now on my hand and also on my face when I use it. So I think I'm gonna pass this on. Let's swatch this because I don't remember how I felt about this one either. So this is from Laura Geller. It's a little sample. This is the Baked Highlighter in Golden Rose. Yeah, it's just okay. I feel like I have a baked product that I already like in this Laura Mercier one, and I like the texture of this one a little better than this one, so I'm gonna pass this guy on. All right, let's see what's left here. All right, let's talk about this. So this is the Essence Pure Nude Highlight. This is the original shade. They now have 2 colorful versions and then a deeper version. I feel like this is one that definitely is, from a highlight perspective, like the same color as my skin. So whereas I feel like it highlights from a glow perspective, I don't necessarily think it's lifting my skin. Like, I'm having a hard time even having the camera pick up on it because it is, there we go, so similar to my skin tone. This one may be one that gets passed on. I think the formula is stunning. I just wish it was a smidge lighter. Talk about this. This is from Revlon. This is part of their Color Charge line. This is the highlighter, just 100. I don't think they had a different name for it. This was pretty, but it was very subtle, and I feel like I've already kept a couple of subtle highlighters. And I think I talked about this in the review too. Like, there's this completely useless brush down here, and as a result, I've got this kind of bulky package that, although I think this is a pretty highlight, it's definitely not one that's like warranting me keeping it from just a packaging perspective. It takes up a ton of space, doesn't fit in my drawer well at all. If I was like gaga for this highlight and felt like I didn't already have a couple of subtle highlights in this tone that I like better, these 2 here in particular, I might keep it, but I do think I'm gonna pass this guy on. Let's pull this guy in. So this is from NARS. This is one of their, doesn't say, this is NARS Capri. I think this is the lightest shade that they just released. These are so creamy and pretty, and yeah, see, this one is giving me similar vibes to the Pure Essence one, but hopefully you can see that. It's just a smidge lighter. So that is the Capri Coast there, and you can see it a lot stronger against my skin. And that is the Pure Nude one there. So that, I mean, listen, it speaks to how incredible this highlight actually is. People are not wrong about it, but I feel like if you're actually fair, it's just a smidge too deep. All right, I'm gonna keep the NARS one. I think I'm gonna pass on the Essence one. All right, so we've got 2 left here. This is from Catrice. This is another one of their highlighter powders. This is in the shade Champagne Campaign. This one is, I know, is a beautiful formula. I've already kept the pinky toned version of this. That is just a really light, bright champagne. And then this is Dandelion Twinkle. Although it is in this pinky packaging, which makes you think it is a pink highlighter, I actually think this one is fairly neutral, if not a little peachy. So you can definitely tell that the Catrice one is brighter and more intense, and this one is a little more subtle. Yeah, I want to keep both these. I really enjoy both of them. All right, so these are ones that I would consider to be more golden undertoned, and I have to watch gold undertoned highlights because they can look brassy on me, but I definitely think there's some ones in here that are gold without being brassy on my skin. Let's start with one that I think is a great example of that. This is the Balm's Mary Luminizer. Actually, let's open all these up first. All right, so like I said, let's start with this. This is the Balm's Mary Luminizer, Cult Classic. I just played around with this not the other day, and this is one where, although it has a gold undertone, I feel like it has enough brightness to it that I can pull it off, and it doesn't look brassy on my skin. So it's definitely maybe a hair deeper than a lot of the bright highlighters that I like to wear, but it still catches the light in just a really, really pretty way. Let's look at some of these other ones in comparison here. So this is from Becca. This is the Shimmering Skin Perfector in Moonstone. I feel like I have yet to find a Becca bronzer that I love, or highlighter rather, that I love. And then this is Vanilla Quartz. This is a little sample size of a newer shade that they put out that looks to be lighter than Moonstone, and it is. So that is Moonstone, and that is Vanilla Quartz. Vanilla Quartz has just a bit of a greenish undertone to it that I don't love, so I do think I'm going to pass this guy on. I don't know, it's just a little... It's too gold. I don't know how else to describe it. It's bright enough, but it's just not right on my undertone. Or it's not a right undertone for my skin. Moonstone is pretty. I don't know. Every time I wear it, it's brighter than Mary Luminizer. And I feel like I should like it, but I don't know, guys. I just don't know as if I like this highlighter. I feel like I need to break down and actually just buy the white one. But I feel like Becca is really missing some highlighters for fair skin. I feel like they need a more pinky toned one, and I also feel like they need a true neutral champagne that is for fair skin. I just feel like their fairest shades are just not quite right for me. So I think I'm gonna pass this guy on too. Ah, I know. One that I know I want to keep, this is from Makeup Revolution. This is another one of their strobe highlights. This is in the shade Everglow Lights. I thought it was white, but I was playing around with it, and it actually has a really pretty goldeny shift to it. It's very subtle. In fact, you know, I'm struggling a little bit to get the camera to show you what I see on my skin. So I did play around with this. I put this in my everyday makeup drawer because I couldn't remember what I felt about it. I used it and I thought, oh yes, this is an example of a highlighter that gets a little gold on my skin but never looks brassy. So love this, going to keep it. This is one I'm not sure I want to keep. This is from Jouer. This is their pressed highlighter in Citrine. I know everyone really liked this, but I did not really care for this formula, and I feel like it's just too brassy on my skin. I don't know, I'm not loving the undertone of this. Yeah, as I'm looking at the undertones here, and I don't know how well this is going to pick up on camera, Mary Luminizer, although it is a little bit deeper, I still feel like it's a little less nude. When I shift my arm, I'm seeing a less of that brassy gold, so I don't know. This formula didn't ever wow me from Jouer, and I don't really care for the color, so I'm going to pass this on. This is another one of the Lorac highlighters. This is in the shade Starlight. This is a gold that I did remember liking. Yeah, see, that's a very light white champagne gold, almost white. I do want to compare that against this Pixi one that I pulled in from the first go round. Oh yeah, those are like straight up dupes for each other. Like, all right, I think I'm gonna pass the Pixi one on and keep the Lorac. I'm not sure Pixi is even around anymore to get. And although I like the highlighter, I don't like this screw-on lid. I'd much rather have this nice little compact guy in my drawer. So keeping Lorac, passing on Pixi. This is from Pure. This is their Afterglow highlighter. This is one that got a little bit of attention on YouTube, I think last year. It was subtle. And then this is a Essence Glow Powder. This is a setting powder. I tried using a setting powder, and holy manoli, is this intensely, like, it was way too much of a highlighter. It was very strange on my skin. But I felt like it was really creamy and made a nice setting powder, or made a nice subtle highlighter. Looking at these on my skin. So that is the Pure one, and that is the Essence one. I'm not sure you can even get the Essence one anymore. I want to say when I was looking for this the other day, it was like a limited edition in and out item. All right, I think I'm gonna pass the Pure one on. I like it, but I feel like I have subtle highlighters I like more, so I think I have a friend that may enjoy this more. Mary is staying. Okay guys, so here is what I am keeping. Here's what I'm getting rid of. After doing a little bit more swatching and looking around, I am gonna go ahead and get rid of this Essence one. I don't feel like I need it. I feel like I've got other ones that were very similar toned to this that I didn't need to keep this. I think it's a limited edition product anyway, so it's not like I can even do a review on for you guys because I feel like it was on their website for like a nanosecond and then it was gone. So is what it is, but that means I am keeping 16. I'm getting rid of 12, so that's 43%. So that's actually not too bad. I thought I would be more at the 30% range. So I'm okay with that. I really love the products I have in here. I don't feel like I'm going to be brokenhearted and miss any of these here. Next up, we're going to move on to more highlighters. We're going to look at the rest of my collection. And then at the end of that video, I'm going to come back and look at all of the highlighters that I've gotten rid of in total so we can kind of total everything up and I can give you an overall percentage as well. But if you like today's video, if you love declutters, make sure and give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot more declutters here in the near future. Love chatting with you guys down in the comment section below. So let me know what your favorite subtle highlighter is. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Bye.